What's up, guys? Welcome back to another day with Bray. So this is kind of just like an introduction video. Obviously these aren't like too crazy or entertaining, but if you are wanting to know more about me and my life and all of that, here we go. So first thing is first, I am 22 years old. I have lived in Lafayette / West Lafayette my entire life. Growing up, I lived on the east side of Lafayette. Had 3 houses on the east side, and then a year after high school, I was still living with my parents, and they moved to the west side, which is this house still. And then me and my husband bought a house kind of more on the south side. So we have experienced all the sides, I guess. I am the youngest of 2 older brothers. One was 9 years older than I. His name is Brett, and Talon is 3 years older than I am. So I did grow up. I feel like I was a very good in-between of being a tomboy and like a girly girl. I loved like dressing up and putting on makeup with my mom and like going shopping and all those things. But I also loved the other side of getting dirty and playing sports, and I always wanted to hang out with the guys and my brothers. I loved that side. I loved that I liked both sides. It's just a change constantly, I guess. I don't know. So I grew up playing a lot of sports. I mean, I did basketball, softball, volleyball, soccer, track and dance, obviously. Not obviously, because why would you know that? Track and dance. I am very competitive, so all those sports, I loved being competitive, so I loved playing sports because all of them usually are very competitive. And usually my dad was coaches for a lot of them, especially softball. He was always my coach, which I really enjoyed. So grew up playing sports, and in high school my main sports were track and dance. Another thing is I actually do love playing on my Xbox. I love like the Fortnite, Call of Duties, Black Ops, all those types of games. So pretty much the shooting ones. Probably the best one that I've been good at is World War II. That was like my ish. Like I was really good at that one, but no one plays that one anymore. I'm always playing Warzone now. I play quite a bit actually. I have a COD squad on Snap, and I'm usually always the first one to text like, hey, who's getting on tonight? It works out really well though, because Bryce gets to catch up on his YouTube and I get to game. When I was younger, me and my friend Morgan would play on our brother's Xboxes. We weren't good back then. This was in middle school. Really, we would put the headset on and we would just kind of like talk trash to like the boys on there. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was funny. But then I finally got my own console a year after high school, and now I can finally play my own game. I also had braces from 5th grade to sophomore year, plus 2 more times of Invisalign, because my teeth don't like to stay in place at all. So I got like 5 teeth pulled, which wasn't out of norm. But then I had like this tooth here was like all the way up here, and so they needed it to come down. And so they cut in my gum, put like a bracket on it, put a chain to that bracket, and then tied it to this bracket just to pull it down. So they would like tighten it each time I went back until it was like in place. So I had a chain in my dang mouth. Like what? And then I had the expander. I have a very small mouth, so like I have all these teeth trying to make room for themselves, so my teeth were very janked. Like your teeth are supposed to be like this, and mine were like on top of each other, and just it was pretty bad. I had the whole headgear. That was fun. Not at all. That was awful. And you have the whole, it was so uncomfortable. You couldn't lay on your side because you had these big metal things. And I'm a side sleeper. I have to sleep on my side, and I couldn't. So it was the most annoying thing. I forget how long I had that, but ugh, it was so annoying. I got my braces off and I had the permanent on my bottom. And my top kept moving. My two front teeth kept like pushing each other, so one looked longer than the other. So I had to get Invisalign. A lot of money has been put into this mouth. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for that. And making these look pretty. I know it took a while, but it was worth it. In high school, I did track and dance. Track, I did the 100 and 300 hurdles, and then the 400 and 4x1. I hated the hurdles. I absolutely hated them. If you know anything about it, you try and get your 3-step in between each hurdle, and it was the most terrifying thing to me. If I could have gotten that 3-step in, I would have been great, but I couldn't. I was so terrified of them. Like, I was like, I don't want to do hurdles. He's like, no, you're doing the hurdles. I said, no, I'm not. He's like, yeah, you are. I was like, okay, then I quit. So I quit track, even though I really did like it. It was like the best shape I've ever been in. Definitely made your bum look good. I'm not kidding. Dance was like my main sport that I was into. I've done dance since I was a little girl. I feel like dance is a very underrated sport because it's so much more physical than you think. The amount of muscle you kind of have to do for certain things, like your jumps, and you have to be so flexible and know how to move your body, as well as remembering each count, what comes next. You have to hit exactly that count so you're on track with your teammates, so you look cohesive. And I feel like I love dance so much because it's like the best of both worlds, because it is so physical and a lot harder than what people may think. You also have that beauty side where you get to wear cute stuff and you get to put on makeup and look cute while like kicking butt. My favorite part was competition. I love competing. It's so serious. Loved that atmosphere of going to competitions. Walking on stage, oh, it's the adrenaline is amazing. Freshman year, like on a Friday basketball game, we were doing a dance, and it was like a kick line dance. You had to do like a kick into the splits and then did like a backflip, like holding on to people. And so I did my kick and I felt this terrible pain in my leg, and I kept going, and I knew at that point I pulled something, and literally crying as I'm dancing, but I kept going. And then I walked off and I started bawling down tears. I pulled my hamstring, and then the next day, I think it was the next day or it was the weekend after, I kind of forget. Anywho, still hurt really bad. And we had a competition, and they're like, can you do this? Like, we need you, but like, if you can't, whatever. I was like, no, I can do it. And oh my God, it was so terrible. But mama ain't raised no, so you gotta keep going. So then I graduated high school in 2016. I went to Aveda Frederick's Institute for my cosmetology license. And that was in the Castleton Mall in Indianapolis. I got an apartment with 2 random girls that I had never met who were going to the Aveda school as well. The first time I ever met them was the day we were picking out our apartment. There's like a 50-50 chance that you're either gonna love them or you're gonna hate them. And luckily, loved them. We all got along so well. I mean, Kylie, who was in my class, she was in my wedding. My class was full of like 30 girls, which is one of the bigger classes. Surprisingly, it wasn't too much drama. You would think with 30 girls in one room doing the same thing, ooh, no, it really wasn't too bad. I met my best friend Lindsay there though. She was my maid of honor in my wedding. So I met a lot of good friendships. I used to be very shy when I was younger. Like, my security blanket was my mom. Like, I was always just like her shadow. So going to beauty school really brought me out of my comfort zone and kind of found me as a person. So then I graduated beauty school and came back to Lafayette and got a job. So then that kind of brings us to 2020. I think 2020 will be a year no one will ever forget. It was a crazy year for everyone. Starting off 2020, in April, we signed our papers to our first home ever as homeowners, which was an amazing accomplishment. Bryce and I are very proud of that. That was April 1st. Come April 4th, so just a few days later, I had surgery in Ohio. Some of you may know I had a breast augmentation and I did get those taken out. So it was a very rough surgery. A lot of recovering. It was much harder than getting them in. I wasn't allowed to move my arms. Tied a scarf around my arms, like at my elbows, and like I literally could only move it like T-Rex arms, I'm not kidding you, for a whole week. And then for a month or something, I couldn't pick up anything heavier than like 5 pounds. So like that means everything. And with our house, we bought the house knowing we were renovating it. So, I mean, we did so much to it. We tore down a wall, we demolished the bathroom, got new floors, got new carpet, painted the whole house, painted the cabinets, the hardware, everything. Recovering from surgery, I couldn't hardly do anything. And that was so frustrating because I'm a type of person who, like, I'm not going to tell someone to do it because I'd rather do it and get it done the way I want to get it done. Like, I'll tell Bryce to do something and he'll start doing it and I'll be like, never mind, just let me do it. Because, like, I like it done a specific way. I'm just OCD and I like to be in charge. And so being in pain and recovering from a surgery, I like couldn't do anything, and I felt so bad because like it's my house, I'm the one who should be doing this. That's when all of our family came together and they freaking helped us out so much. I could never be any more grateful or show them the amount of appreciation, especially my parents. My dad like pretty much knows so much. Like, he's the smartest guy I know, and he knows everything about like building a house and all of that. Bryce's dad is an electrician, and then my brother is such a hardworking guy, and Bryce and just like everyone came together and helped us out so much, and I'm so grateful. That was happening during quarantine, which happened honestly at a perfect time because they were able to come over a lot more than if we all were working. So it kind of worked out in the perfect way. Took us a month, got it done by May 10th, which was amazing because May 10th was Mother's Day and Bryce's birthday, and our goal was to get done so we could have everyone over for dinner, and we were able to do that. So it was great. And then in July, we got our dog, Kelly. She's a little pit bull. She's so big now. She's probably like 80 pounds. The girl is chunky. She's really added so much to our family. Bryce and I love her with a whole heart. And then August, we got married. It was the best day ever. Everyone made it so perfect. I got my dream wedding that I've always wanted. So like it matched my goal before the pandemic ever happened. And I was so glad everyone could still join us and celebrate with us to our future together, which is awesome. I miss Deno now. Bryce and I actually weren't able to go on our honeymoon. We had it scheduled for like the week after our wedding. We were going to Hawaii and we didn't get to because of all the restrictions and everything. It was going to be too complicated, so we called it off. But we did get that rescheduled for this upcoming April, so I'm so excited for that. And I know everyone is like, okay, after the honeymoon, let's make them babies. And I'm like, we'll see. One day I'm like, okay, Bryce, I need a child right now. And the next day I'm like, I can wait a few years. So I have no idea. We will play that by ear. In October, we went to Nashville for a friend's 21st birthday. And we ran into Morgan Wallen at a house next to our Airbnb. And we were like, hey, you want to come over and play some beer pong? And he came on over. We hung out with him for like 3 hours, played beer pong, drank. He showed us some of his unreleased songs that are now out on his new album. It was like the coolest experience because, I mean, when will I ever meet another famous person? And then last but not least of 2020, December 1st was my first day at my new salon as my own business. I have two friends, Kelsey and Kaylee. They opened up a new salon downtown on Main Street. It's called Violet Gray. Go check them out and go follow my hair page, BrayleysSage.violetgray. So that was a really big step for me. That was, I think, my next step of gaining more confidence in myself. I'm so glad I made the jump. I love being my own boss and scheduling my own hours. Okay, okay guys, that is actually all I have for you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss another day with Bray. And I also just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who gave me so much great feedback to my last video. I know this can be very scary of putting yourself out there in front of a huge platform. So I love all the feedback and all the nice comments that I have gotten. All right, and that's all I have. And until next time, can't wait.